Saturday for senior day. It was definitely a special moment, a special day to see the celebration of our senior class, who is positioned themselves as the winningest group of seniors to ever come through this program, to go out and play at the level that they did. Just as a football team, we've talked all season long, no distractions, continuing to progress, to go out and to play at the level, and just with the emotion, everything that's involved in that day, to finish up undefeated at the Liberty Bowl for the first time in our program history at home was pretty special. And our guys, it was fun to see them celebrate with each other there afterwards. But we got in the locker room. It wasn't too crazy, because we knew that our journey hasn't ended yet. And when it comes to this week, championship week, every game that we've had leading up to this point has put ourselves in a position for this game. And we know the opponent. It's obviously having to go back on the road against undefeated conference Eastern Division champion, one that's played at an exceptional high level. We know that it's going to be a heck of a game, and it's going to take our best effort. We've had to have a great week of preparation, and I know our guys are excited about the opportunity. So we started off the week. We had a great practice intro there Sunday night. Today's our guys' off day, and we'll be back at it tomorrow, getting ready to put together our plan, and just excited about the opportunity to go be in this game and competing against a great team.
You've got a group of seniors led by guys like Riley and Anthony that have been counted out for a lot of their careers. Do you sense that they're kind of anxious, that they're excited to meet this opportunity against a team that gave them problems earlier this year?
Most definitely, and I think after the game, there in Norvell early in the season, I said it after the game, we were embarrassed. I mean, we didn't feel like we played to the best of our ability. All credit went to Central Florida, because they caused a lot of that. We turned the ball over 4 times in the game. We lost a possession on a kickoff. On a kickoff return, we didn't score in the red zone. Things that you can't do against a great team. And as you sit there, I knew going into that game, and I said it in the weekly press conference before it, that was a championship caliber team that we were playing. I think that's been proven correct here over the last 11 weeks, and you see how Central Florida has progressed throughout their season. They've played in some close games. They've been dominant in just about every one of them, every game that they've had. And then you see last week in a rivalry game, finding a way to be successful at the end in a game that went back and forth. And so we've got our hands full, and our guys, they know that it's no need to talk about it. We've got to go out there and prepare. We've got to go out and put ourselves in a position to be able to have success. But when you're playing against another championship caliber football team, you can't make those types of mistakes that can cost you. And our kids we're looking forward to the opportunity.
Does your game plan change for this time versus playing them last time, or are you just hoping for the better exexecution on the same plan this time?
I think we have a better sense of who we are. That was our 4th game of the season. It was Central Florida's 3rd game of the season, so we're still early in the year trying to figure out exactly what who we were going to be. We're coming off, I know defensively, we had a lot of first time or second time starters in that game. We had some things communication wise that were not as clean as they needed to be. But as the season progresses, you see the cohesiveness of our football team. We've had to make some changes. Our team has adapted a little bit to the strengths and talents that we've shown and displayed throughout this year. But you also see that on Central Florida's team. I mean, you look at their offense. They started off extremely fast this year, but they continue to get better as the year's gone on, because you look at Milton, their quarterback. Now he's got a full 2nd season under his belt. Playing at such a high level. The weapons they have at receiver. Their run game. In every aspect of their football team, I think they've improved, and it is a complete team that we're playing. Well, that's something that as our seasons going through each one of those opportunities, I feel that we've also progressed. And so it's going to be a great matchup. We're going to look at things that we've done well through the season. Obviously you've got to have a specific plan, in a sense for what we're going to go against. But at the end of the day, our focus still has to be on us. And we've got to make sure that we don't turn the football over. We've got to make sure that we communicate at a high level. Going on the road, it's going to be a hostile atmosphere. You've got to make sure that everything in regards to how we're executing is on point. And but that's the great thing about college football is that there's plenty of coaches, there's plenty of schools that don't get this opportunity to play in a championship game. I think we're one of 14 teams that are even practicing this week for this opportunity. It's a humbling experience that we get to go through, but it's one that our players have earned. So we're going to throw everything we have at it, and hopefully we can make enough plays to put ourselves in a position to achieve success.
You kind of touched on it, talking about that you guys have a better idea for where you are, but you suffered so many injuries the first couple of weeks of the season. Do you feel like that this roster has grown just because of the guys that have been forced to play, the guys that have been forced to kind of embrace their new roles? It's a little more different familiarity than the last one you saw.
No question. And I mean, you see that for most teams that go through the season. I know we've talked throughout this year that you'll see teams across college football that midway through the season, they either get complacent with where they are, whether they've achieved success up to that point, or maybe they've had some setbacks. And then you'll see teams that are hungry and passionate about getting better each and every day. That's one thing that I think our football team has learned from every experience. Good, bad, and different. We've been up big in games and had to hold on. We've had some games that we were down. You look at Houston, the experience there. We went on the road against Central Florida, didn't play our best game. One that we had to learn some lessons from that in how we prepare, what we do, the mindset that we have. And I think our football team, whether it was with some of the inexperienced players or some of our senior veterans, that we all are in this process together. And so you have to continue to grow. And that's one of the things I've been the most proud of with this team is the way that we've responded to every situation to put ourselves in a position to be able to play in this game.
This is a bit of an odd question because obviously you want to beat UCF, but do you feel like they should be playing for a playoff spot this week because they have an undefeated record?
I'll tell you that going into this game at the beginning of the year, I made the statement that this team that we were playing was a championship caliber team. I've been fortunate to be able to coach in different conferences and different places, and I know that our conference and the elite teams in our conference this year are very talented, are well coached, have played at a high level, regardless of what they're, who they've been asked to play. We've shown well, and I think that the Central Florida team, they've maximized every opportunity, whether they were on the road against a Big Ten opponent, whether they were at home, regardless of circumstance. Heck, you watch the game that they played against South Florida. It's probably one of the most exciting games in college football this season. But they have really good football players. They've got a defensive front that I think is as arguably as good as you'll find. I mean, it's going to be in that conversation. They've got you look at their corners. I mean, their secondary. Mike Hughes is one of the most dynamic returners in the game. I think we have one of the most dynamic returners in the game. You want to see a great. Assembly of players. You watch that game at 11 o'clock there in Orlando come Saturday, because this is two really good football teams. Whether or not they should be in the playoff conversation, I think that's for the committee to be able to view. But I know we're playing a football team that, regardless of what conference they played in, they would achieve a high level of success. And I think much can be said about the same for our football team. And I love the guys that we have, and I think it's going to be a heck of a matchup.
Mike, what is your reaction when you hear people say this could be the most important game in the history of this program?
Well, I mean, when I hear that, I've been saying that for about the last 5 weeks. And because when you put yourself in a position to where every game becomes a championship level game, we've done something this year that not many people around here have ever done. And so the importance, the focus, that's all we've really tried to pour into. You look at the SMU game. I mean, that was huge. I mean, that was a big game. That was probably the most important game, who knows, in our program history. But, for what the recognition is, for what it's meant to this community, for this football team, I mean, it's amazing. And so we've approached every game that way. And so the message has never changed. Since we got midway through the season and we started, really starting to gel together as a team, all of our focus has been on the one step in front of us. There's a lot of outside noise. There's whether it's the top 25, whether it's, going undefeated at home, whether it's, have an opportunity to win the Western Division Championship. Well, we put ourselves in a position that we get to play in this game, and it is a huge game. And we have the opportunity to be successful in this one. We know what comes with that success, and I'm just happy for this football team. We're happy for the opportunity.
Coach, what's the biggest difference from the defense you took in the second game to the defense you take into this game?
Well, I think we've grown up. I mean, I think we've really been able to identify our strengths. I think we communicate better. You look at guys, to point out a few. You look at our defensive backfield. Now, coming into the season, we really had one returning starter. That was Jonathan Cook. I think Jonathan's played at a high level this year, been a great leader. The way that he's communicated has been phenomenal. But then you look at Tito Wyndham, TJ Carter, Josh Perry, who's playing at an extremely high level here these last few weeks. And I mean, just the confidence of what they're playing at. We didn't. I mean, I'd like to say we knew exactly what we had, but we were excited about TJ, the level that he played at, Tito coming in, John, all those guys are guys we talked about, but you see the level which they're playing at and the confidence that they're taking into each and every game. I mean, they've been challenged. We put them in challenging situations, but they're so much more comfortable now than what they were. So it's been fun to see that progression, and so we'll see where we are. I mean, it's at the end of the day, you look at guys like Jernard Avery, Austin Hall. They've had to play a variety of different positions. I guess the emergence of Tim Hart at the linebacker position has allowed us to have a little bit more flexibility in what we've been able to do with Jernard. And Jernard's played inside, he's played outside, he's played at defensive end, and so that's really helped us come along. And in every you're still looking at a defense that's playing a lot of young guys. I mean, our two nose tackles are both freshmen. We got we're really young in a lot of areas, but now that you have 11 games in your belt, the confidence level is really showing up.
Coach, all season you've put emphasis on your two goals of going undefeated at home in the conference championship. So once you go down here and beat Central Florida, season, do you determine it to be a success then, or does what happens with the bowl game factor into whether the season is successful?
Well, and really from the first day that I got here, one thing we wanted every season, the top goal is to be bowl champions. And what you do, because I want to finish every year, being able to carry that momentum of being able to lift a trophy, at the end of the year, make sure that we've had success. Obviously, you have to win. You have to become bowl eligible to achieve the top goal. But below that, it's what does that opportunity look like? For this football team to go through the winter conditioning, spring football, summer conditioning, the workouts, the non-conference schedule, going undefeated, going undefeated in the Western Division, winning the Western Division Championship. All those things are elevated on our journey to what we view success as. But there's still levels that we want to be able to attain, and I can tell you that every goal that we have is in front of us. We know that it's going to be a great challenge, but when you get to that point of the year where you put yourself in that position, man, you really embrace every opportunity that you get to continue to play this game. And this season, and it's been a wonderful journey. It's one that this football team will be one that's remembered in our program's history. But like I said, we're not done yet, and we're excited about being able to go out there and go to work this week and hopefully prepare at a high enough level to give ourselves a chance to be successful.
I don't know if you look at bowl projections, but pretty much every bowl projection out there has you guys going to a bowl other than a New Year's Six bowl, which essentially is them saying they don't think you're going to win this game. Are you a bulletin board material type guy? Will you use stuff like that? Or?
No, I mean, because our focus has to be on the things that we can control is all that we can control. And so what people perceive of us, before the year, like I mentioned when we were picked to win the West Division, that's outside noise. It's a great compliment, but it's just things that we really don't have a say in. All we have a say in is how we prepare for this week, how we perform when it comes to Saturday, and at the end of the day, whether we're picked or not, if you can find a way to be 1 point better, then I've got a pretty good sense of what bowl game we'll be going to. If not, then we'll see where everything plays out from there. But I can tell you that our team, I think it's been asked after every game, how do they keep their edge? How do they keep their focus on, after winning the West Division? At the end, it's the same message. It's the same approach. That is what has allowed this football team to be successful, because whether it's coach, whether it's player, no distractions. And do the things that it has taken us to achieve the success, and don't deviate from the plan. That's every person in our program, that is our sole focus.
You guys have obviously had great success these last 2 years. There was a report over the weekend where Tom Bowman discussed that you guys have been trying to figure out a contract extension. Can you tell us anything just about what that process has been like, and how the university has dealt with the success you guys have found these last 2 years?
Well, I'll tell you that the commitment to where I believe this program is going is unbelievable. You can see it with the support that we have from our community. Obviously administration, the university. It's why I came to Memphis. It's what I believe that not only where we are, but where we can go. And I've stayed out of all the outside, because, like I say, you can't talk about your players if you're not willing to do it yourself. And so those are things that I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity. I've got an unbelievable job, and I think we've done things since we've been here to continue to promote our program for not just where it is right now, but where we can go in the future. And so we're excited about the continued progression, and I know all those things will continue to progress along. But at the end of the day, my focus is 100% on this week, tomorrow's practice, and trying to go out there and for us to be successful.
Okay, Coach, Norvell went out of the game and didn't come back. What's his situation, and is anybody else kind of dicey for this?
Yeah, it was Dorland was the one injury that we know right now. Dorland will not be available to play this week, and it's so very disappointing in the sense that Dorland has done so many things for this program. The emotional leader that he is. I usually don't like talking about a whole lot of injuries, but at the end of the day, you see a guy like him and the work that he's put in, and it's been a rough senior year for him. And to see him get in the end zone on senior day was pretty special. Because he loves being a Memphis Tiger. And then you see some of the unfortunate things that have just kind of happened to him this year that have kept him out of games. But he has not one day ever removed himself from the importance of the leader that he is. And hoping those young guys come along. Such an inspirational person because of his story, and to hug his neck the other day on senior day was an emotional moment. And I know that we're going to work hard to get him back for the bowl game, and hopefully he'll have the opportunity to do that. But at the end of the day, what a great ambassador that he's been for us, and really was excited to see him score that touchdown there on Saturday.
Do you pay attention to some of the celebrations on social media? I saw one kid ask Dorland for his sock after the game, and I think they made jerseys for some of, on white T-shirts for some of the seniors and
Ask
stuff.
Dorland for his sock?
Yes, his sock.
Did he give it to him?
He did.
Well, we gotta look at that, man. I'll tell you what, I'll probably find a little better smelling gift than a sock there after the game.
And I think his reason being was that Memphis is giving him everything he wanted, so why not give a little kid a sock or something like that?
I tell you, it's kind of that's the support and the understanding of what we represent is so important for our players. And you go through the Tiger Walk, and it's such a special moment because you get to actually you see the fan base and see the people that you mean so much to, and whether it's kids there after the game, whether it's people that stick around just to shake your hand or take a picture. Our guys understand that we represent something much bigger than ourselves, and so to be able to have that influence and to carry that sense of responsibility is big. And I've never heard of a sock before, but that's a good one. There's the first. All right, guys, thank you.
basketball.
Your first little basketball.
Yeah, but that first love is clicks. Football game, you're gonna get more. Monday.
The 27th, the 27th.
Yeah.